All right, this episode is brought to you by SMP Ink. Let them rebuild your confidence. I can't believe I blew that like coming out of this. JPS Computers out of Oregon, Alex and my boy Jesse. Thank you so much for taking care of me. And my new sponsors, Red Rock Harley Davidson. And to you out there listening right now, the Rock Rage Radio listeners, as they say, we are everywhere. Chase, we are everywhere, buddy. My name is Bryan Hopkins. This is a Hero's Journey podcast. And I say this all the time. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. But on the way over here, I got a call I got a new bandmate. And he's moving here. This is his new journey. He's taken on this new call to adventure and call to action. And he's moving here to be in a band with me. And he's like, what's today's podcast about? And I said, dude, man, growing up, I found my identity my freshman year when somebody introduced me to gel. And next thing you know, I am like messing with my hair. I got a job mopping this barbershop, I mean, not a barbershop, a beauty salon every Wednesday for $50. And I got free haircuts. I was their hair model. It was awesome. I modeled in Portland. I was having a great time. And kind of the hair was my thing. Even in my high school yearbook, my baseball hat was sitting on top of my head, because I had so much gel in there. And then going into being in a band. And it morphed into this mohawk, faux hawk kind of thing and sideburns. And it was my identity. And then one day, I get the news that my brother is very ill. And I go to the hospital, and I'm in the hospital with him. And we get the news that he's got 3 months to live, the doctor says. And I'm devastated. My family's devastated. My brother's still alive, by the way. I'm going to start that by saying that right now. And it's been almost 3 years. So the doctors are wrong. Love's keeping my brother alive. But in the room, he says to me, I'm laying on the couch next to him every night. And he goes, hey, I would love to see you with a shaved head. My brother's been shaving his head for 15 years now. Big dude, tattoos, good looking guy, shaves his head. And I'm like, no way, man, no way. And he goes, before I go, I would love to see it. So I had my brother get up on stage with me in front of 3,000 people. We were opening up for Joe Nichols, and I had my brother perform a song that I wrote called Forever Family. And my brother joins me on stage, and I reveal on stage as I'm putting war paint on his face. We're Native American Indian. I told the crowd my brother's story. I shared with them what was going on with him and how love is going to keep my brother alive. And I'm like, we go to battle, putting on war paint. And he starts crying and I'm crying, but I take off my hat and I had shaved my head. And since then, it was like he started crying even more because now I'm bald. And as time went on, I realized I'm growing my hair out. Wow, my hair wasn't as thick as I thought it was. And my identity was just sliding behind me. The thing that I was most known for was gone. And so one day I'm at the gym and I meet these two guys that I walk up to, and I was just blown away. I'm going to get into that story, and they're my guests today. And we're going to get into why they're here and what they've done for me. And you have no idea, and I'm going to reveal it today on this episode of a Hero's Journey podcast. Chase, you played a big part of this, buddy. Thank you for what you did for me and coming in, and we're going to share with everybody what's up. But I have Tyler Bennet, my boy.
What's
How
up?
you doing, man?
We're so excited to be here right now. That was the best intro.
No, thank you.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm riveted.
Thank you. Marvin, Furrow.
Furrow, yeah.
Furrow. And they are from SMP Ink. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
And when I get to share with everybody what you guys did for me, I mean, it's unreal. I was sharing with my bandmate, my new bandmate, on his way here. He started to share with me, man, I had long black hair, and that was, you just, as a musician, you're up there, it's his identity. And he said, I saw this start to thin out. And then one day just decided, I'm going to shave this thing off. And he goes, I had no idea I saw the video that you did the other day. And he goes, I just thought, you shave your head. And we're going to get into this, what you guys actually do. So tell me about it. Tell me, actually, you started this. What is it that you guys do?
So basically, SMP stands for scalp micropigmentation. What we do is we replicate hair follicles using pigment. So, it's not necessarily tattoo ink or anything like that. It's not the same style as a tattoo, because tattoos, they go deep, 4 layers deep. We only hit the first layer of the skin. Okay, you don't bleed. It's totally non-invasive, as you know.
Yeah.
And you could create and frame somebody's face out by creating a scalp line, right? Because beauty is comprised of how symmetrical we are, right? So if your hair comes way back here, right, and then if you put a cap on, now your face is reframed, right?
Exactly.
But if you take it off, it's way back in Egypt again, right?
Yep.
So you look like Mr. Burns or George Jefferson or something,
Which there are people that pull that off so well.
They
Randy
do.
Couture is one of them.
Yeah.
Jason Statham made it cool. But
I hated it.
It's my identity. Exactly.
I hated it. See, I'm Filipino and Italian, right? So,
oh wow,
my skin, my follicles used to be super dark. Okay,
yeah.
But when I shaved my head, when I was bald, it was like all the way back here, and you could still see the follicles on the side. Drove me nuts. Always rocked hats. Did whatever I had to do. So one day I came across, I Googled, couldn't you just tattoo some hair on? I looked it up, but I wouldn't know how it looked. But it came up in the UK. And so I looked at it, micropigmentation in the UK, and it actually looked pretty good. So I went, checked it out, ended up getting my head done, and I liked it. But it was just a little barbaric, back in the day. So this was about 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
It was still relatively, it wasn't even in the United States, really. So we were just, on the cusp of something new. And, when Tyler and I did this, we were using tattoo equipment. There was no companies making micropigmentation, needles and ink or anything like that. It was pretty barbaric, and we're trying to do something, and we were practicing on each other. Literally, I was practicing on my own head just to see what it would look like, and trying to make it darker. And back then, I wanted that edged out hairline. I just always wanted that, right?
Like that barbershop kind of
barbershop look, and
Yeah.
I did it, and it worked. I mean, but it just started to change colors because we didn't know, how it worked, because we're essentially pioneers of this, right? So we ended up getting a laser. I had a laser to lighten it up, and he was there for that process, and that was a lot of fun. Tyler came in, and his story was even more interesting. So I'll let him take over.
Yeah,
his story.
Tyler, for starters, man, this is episode 34, and today is your birthday.
Dude,
right?
This is meant to be
34 years old.
Yeah.
You guys actually, when I came to you guys, I asked you if you would be my sponsors, and I had 0 followers. And you guys actually, without a heartbeat, said, I'm starting this podcast. It's done, blah, blah, blah. And you literally said, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that's because personality counts way more than followers, and you had all the personality.
Thanks.
So we already knew followers were coming. The hardest thing to have is what you already got.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So your story,
man, I've been through it. So I'll try to sum it up so quickly, but I started losing my hair when I was 18. I mean, I was a senior in high school. I remember the day it was an issue. And before I get into that, you were talking about identity.
Right.
Well, that was my identity too.
Yeah.
I had got to be glued was my, you know what I mean? I think it was all the stuff. It was terrible. But here's the thing though. If any movie you watch, subconsciously, the hero, the guy you want to like, the attractive guy, the rich guy, the guy you want to be like has a full head of hair.
Jason Momoa.
Right?
It's like,
and then every villain, every, somebody who, they're old, they're not made to be a character that you want to find attractive, doesn't have their hair.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the identity is being painted before we can even get to that stage. So what happens is we panic when our hero / beautiful person identity starts turning into somewhat of the villain, the guy past his prime. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that being said, I started losing my hair when I was 18,
Ugh.
senior in high school. So I remember the day it was an issue. I was friends with this girl who had her friend was someone I was very interested in. And I said, hey, can you just go tell her I said what's up? And she said, oh, I got you. She comes back, she goes, you don't want her. You don't want her at all. I'm like, why, what's up? She said, well, you're balding. And I was shot to the heart because here I am worrying about grades, girlfriends. I'm worried about the cool kids, clubs and stuff. And now I'm worrying about something that I didn't think anyone had to worry about until they were 90 years old. You know what I mean? Because I'm over here thinking like only old people lose their hair.
Exactly.
So I started going through it. What can I do? What can I do? I was panicked. Because I'm not going out like this. This isn't be something I'm having grown man thoughts about my hair when I should be just experiencing my life right now.
Losing your virginity.
Yeah. Right. Like how not, man, it makes everything so much harder. Right? So, so I actually ended up getting a hair transplant when I was 21. And I got a hair transplant, and there's a lot of stuff they don't tell you. They're great for some people. I don't want to knock them too much, but for someone who's at the peak of their testosterone, and it's not a good idea because the same underlying cause that you're losing your hair now is the same underlying cause you're going to lose your transplant hairs. Think of it like a plant. Right. You're replanting your plant in soil that does not condone healthy growth, no matter how healthy it was. Now, what can they do to change that soil to make it so that it condones healthy growth? Put you on drugs, finasteride, Propecia.
That's your life then.
Yes. And then, but I'm 21, and they're saying, here, you just spent $15,000 on your hair transplant. Take this drug to make sure you keep those hairs. I'm gonna OD on this right now.
Right.
Like I'm gonna take one every day, 2 a day. But what is it doing? They don't tell you what it's doing, and I'm too young to even care to ask. It's cutting your natural testosterone down so that you don't overproduce and you don't have extra left that converts itself to DHT and ends up ruining your hair. So I'm now 21. I'm suppressing.
You're 34 today. Sorry.
Yeah, 34.
No, you said I'm now 21. I'm kidding.
I'm in the story. So I'm in the zone. I'm actually picturing this.
I'm kidding.
He's there.
I'm 21 in the story. I just had my hair transplant, which is talk about barbaric.
Right.
This is some serious shit. Can I say shit?
Yeah, okay. You can curse all you want. Even it goes on Rock Rage Radio. They're like, woo! Yeah.
This is serious shit because, they're taking a chunk of skin equivalent for all the hairs that they're taking, and they're taking that, they're peeling it off your head like Hannibal Lecter. They're taking this, they're suturing it shut, and then they're replanting all these hairs into your head. But what they don't tell you is a healthy male head has 100,000 hair follicles just on the top, and the most they can transplant here in the States is 3,500. That's nothing compared to what you need. Yeah. And I was going to college. I spent $15,000 on that.
Wow.
That's no joke. You know what I mean? So now I'm then taking for 5 years a testosterone suppressing drug at the peak of my testosterone.
So basically you are 21 years old and you need a blue pill or something.
Dude, my check engine light is on, man. And I'm a brand new car.
Man. Oh, dude.
So,
it gets better.
Yeah. So, well, here's the thing. Yeah. Go ahead. So
it gets better.
So I'm going and going, and it's just not helping, right? So I do everything. I look up all the things I possibly can. And then I find Marvin, and I'm actually at the gym just like you.
No.
And I'm walking around and I see a booth that he's at, and there's a big old banner of a bald guy and then not a bald guy. Company. I don't understand, but I'm already pissed because I've done all this. There's no way, whatever that, witchcraft is over there. It probably doesn't work, right? But I see Marvin over there, and I'm like, okay, well, his head looks cool, but I'm sure as hell not about to go over there,
right?
Because I'm like a losing hair guy in a gym going over to a big banner that has a bunch of men losing hair.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take a picture on the slide, and I'm gonna look back to it later. So then I end up calling him, and I'm like, look, man, I want to come in for a consult. I don't know what you're doing. I've had a transplant. If this is a transplant, I'm out. And he's like, no, come in. Let me talk about it with you. I know you've probably been through it. I've been through it too. Let's just have a chat. So I come in. I'm like, I like that because that's not a used car salesman type of thing. Yeah. That's just a chat, a guy, man to man. Yeah. So I go in, we talk. You know, at that time, he was starting up a different company with somebody else. But he sold me on it. And you know what? That's kind of a hard sell to somebody who's 15,000 in
on something else,
taking a drug that he doesn't want to take anymore. I stopped taking it after a while.
So what happened? Did it fall out, or did you have to?
So at the time, I just had that like a cul-de-sac look. Okay. So I put my 3,500 hairs right in there. Bam, bought me some years. But then I continued to lose more hair. It just continued to go. Now I have islands of hair here, and then this just continued to go.
Now keep in mind, 3,500 hair follicles when you need 100,000. They had to kind of spread it out. I mean, it looked like, you know, kind of like cornrows, doll's hair, if you will, right?
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't look
it's
good.
not going to fill it out. I mean, it's good for a little bit of texture at best, but I mean, that's where he was at that stage.
So, I mean, so then it got to the point where I was like, okay, this guy's showing me something with a bald head, and I have hair. So we can do the same look for people who have longer hair where we recreate natural looking density. But you know what? I'm so tired of fighting. I'm like, you know what can I do to be done with this? Because I shit you not, every morning, no matter what I was doing, no matter how cool of people I met, no matter where I went, no matter who I was hanging out with, my first thought every day was, damn.
That's a hard way to wake up.
It is.
It's something that, for me, standing in front of the mirror, it's bad enough that we can't slow down time. This thing right here, it just moves. You know what I'm saying? We can't slow down time. It happened to you early on. Now, there are other things that people go through. I'm born without a left chest muscle. I'm part of my bicep. There are things that we all deal with, but that was my upside. You know what I'm saying? That was my thing.
That was your, I don't got this, but I got this.
Exactly. Yeah. So now take me through this journey. So you go to him, and what happens? What happens now?
So,
Go
ahead. I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at his head, and I'm like, you know, I'm just tired of always worrying. You know, sadly, there's so many men out there right now that are just holding on to like crypt keeper type hair, because they think that shaving their head is the ultimate sign of I give up. I don't want to do it anymore. I give up. I don't care about my looks. I'm getting old. It's over with. Throw in the towel. Whereas Marvin was here telling me that's your first step to not worrying about this anymore. So, you know, if anyone is out there and they need to hear it right now, being bald is okay. We're not sitting out here like, hey guys, if you're bald, you know, you are missing something.
No.
And we're trying to help you. But for the people out there who you know, don't feel, you know, right with that, or they're hanging on to hair, that's what's noticeable to people.
Right.
Being bald isn't what people are, you know, laugh about.
No.
It's having super thin hair, trying to cover up.
Right.
And
we've all done that in school, where we had the teacher that we looked at and who had the comb over and whatever. And
It just looks, you're
it's
fighting.
and it's you know, you feel, you don't, I don't know, I felt bad for him when I was in school, and I remember that.
Right.
And so there's nothing wrong with owning your identity, and if that's who you are. But we're talking about, you know, we're still young, and still these things that we were battling. You way younger than me. I had my hair this was just a couple of years ago, like almost 3 years ago now, that I went and took it off, and then about a year into it realized, man, I was losing my hair, like here and here. It started to go like, this is tripping me out. And I could see it in videos and things like that started to pop up. But we're gonna continue this, because I want to share. I want to take this off here in a second. But I walked up to you one day. I had seen you many times at the gym, and I saw you, but you were somebody who stood out to me because you had light skin. And I'm like, damn, that guy makes bald look good. Like, I thought that was you owning it. Like 5 o'clock shadow, Miami Vice on your head.
Man, I dressed stupid today, okay?
And so I waited till my girl was there one day with me, and I'm like, there's that guy. And you were with your girl, and I walked up to you, and you were there too. And I walk up, And I'm like, man, you make bald look good. And you're like, thanks. And you, on the down low, were cool about it, but you pointed out, you didn't push it on me.
No,
you pointed out,
yeah.
hey, look real close. And I'm like, yeah, it's just hair, but wow, you own this. And then you told me what it was. And then you pointed out 2 guys in the gym. And then you were the third, but you had a hat on.
Yeah.
And you pointed out 2 guys, and there was a darker skinned guy like myself and someone else. And I'm like, dude looks like a model. And you're like, clients, we are SMP Ink. He did my head, and we're partners. And I'm like, what? And you sent me to where so I could just start researching it. I started dreaming about it. I'm not even kidding you guys. Because standing in front of a mirror, I could see it, and it was bothering me. And my head was getting raw from shaving my head down bald every day, and it was really bothering me. So I start this podcast, Hero's Journey podcast, and this was a whole new adventure to me. And when you go into a hero's journey, it's like you've got this new calling, and you're stepping into this new adventure kind of space. And then the mentors, the people that are teaching you along the way, you guys were that for me. You made me feel comfortable. I think I waited a year.
Yeah.
I had the courage. A year later, I come in and said, let's do it. But I start the podcast, and as I said earlier, you guys came on as my sponsors, and this is what happened. Chase, cue this up. This is what happened. Hey guys, it's Bryan from a Hero's Journey podcast, and here's the thing. I'm at SMP Ink right now. Check that out, right there. SMP Ink. And I'm here, I say it all the time, I'm here to rebuild my confidence.
Well, I remember the vision of you as you made your way to the stage. It was a girl in a black and white dress, gorgeous eyes, beautiful face.
So I'm just doing something that contours to your face, something that's age appropriate, something that's still gonna look good on you in the next, 5 to 8 years.
I see. Nice.
So see how I didn't go super like a 90-degree angle. I'm rounding it out. Right there.
Cool.
That's it, man.
All right.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm actually gonna up your ink just a butt hair.
Yeah, I like it. Go dark.
I'm not gonna go dark. But I'm very conservative.
I'm excited. I really am. There's something about looking in the mirror and going, damn, we all get older, but you just don't believe that it's you,
Well, we have no choice, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I was lucky. I had good hair for a long time, and then that's what I was known for. So it's just kind of wild. And then walking up to this guy, literally, I had to wait and do it when my girl was there. I'm like, there he is, and he's with his girl, his now fiance.
You built up the energy.
I waited, yeah. It was like, dude, you make bald look good. And then he points out 2 other guys in the gym, and he said, see that guy? He's a client. And I'm like, that guy looks like a model. And I wanted to share this with other people out there going through the same thing I am, and know that there's a remedy for it. You guys have rebuilt my confidence. Check it. Here we go.
Bam.
This is it. Can you see this?
Yes.
There we go. And I am...
Just looks like you shaved your head. That's it.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's...
And you're framed
I
out.
love it, guys. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys look so good.
Thanks, man.
And I just want to be one of you guys. Thank you.
I think the best part about it, I mean, you look healthier, because for some reason society looks at people bald like they're unhealthy or something.
Right.
But it's just genetics or whatever it may be. But I mean, he's 18 years old. He was clearly healthy.
Right.
He was just losing his hair. But you just look healthier. You look younger, more youthful, everything. And you're framed out. And it looks like you just had a full head of hair and you just decided to shave it. But you still look good.
Thank you.
What I mean? Yeah, but
that's you guys. You guys did this. You were the one who sat down and did this. And I remember you saying you wanted to be the one to do it.
or help.
The exciting, exactly what I'm saying.
We're
but,
both excited.
But what's great is you started another
location,
and you were gone. So it was your attention to detail, what you've done with me. I mean, you walked me through it with kid gloves. We didn't attack it all in one day. I mean, you even looked at me the other day and went, I got like these little nickels or little dime-like areas that I just want to go in and grab. And I'm like, done, cool. Because it's non-invasive. I just get to hang out with my friend and you're sitting there tattooing my head and 20 minutes later, because each one got a little shorter. And it's, you know, I have tons of tattoos and it's nothing like that out there, guys. It's nothing like getting a tattoo. And I just knew that each time I walked in there, I was a step closer to where I wanted to be.
You look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So you have a new location. Talk about this.
So yeah, we're in Scottsdale, Arizona right now. North Scottsdale, right off the 101. Really hot spot. We figured, why not Arizona? It's the 5th largest market in the country, so why not attack that? We were getting a lot of clients that were coming from Arizona anyway, so we figured we'd come over and help them out a little bit, because Tyler and I being in the same location, we both didn't need to be there. I mean, we have another artist that work for us that help us out. They're master artists, guys. If you ever come in, these guys are legends. We train them. They're
hand-picked.
They're hand-picked. I mean, they've been doing this for years, and so we're just kind of open up locations and just cruising from there. And we just got it open, and we're already rocking and rolling.
That's awesome.
Changing lives one head at a time.
So SMP Ink is in now Scottsdale, Arizona.
Correct.
You have one in Seattle. Is that right? Is that
we had an original location in Seattle. We have one in San Francisco as well.
Danville. Yeah.
Okay.
Danville. We're getting ready to put one in LA shortly, soon.
Wow.
And we're working with another artist that we work with in Atlanta. So we're trying to do that as well.
And of course, Vegas.
Vegas. Of course.
Headquarters.
That's where I'm at, Vegas, which is off of Flamingo, right? Is it Flamingo?
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes from the Strip. Flamingo and 215.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and what I noticed being there, you guys teach this. This is something. So it's a course, and there are females that were doing it so they could do eyebrows and hair. And what was it like?
There's all kinds of things. So, it's kind of just classified under PMU, permanent cosmetics. There's all kinds of things that we can do out there. Stretch mark, camouflage, eyebrows, eyeliner, lip blushing. I mean, there are so many things. I mean, nipple reconstruction. These are all things that are classified as something medical, something that you're replicating, something that naturally occurs on the body, not something like a traditional tattoo. So, this is just another type of version of that. So micropigmentation, we're just recreating natural hair follicles using pigment.
Wow.
So, I mean, and I tell everybody, I'm like, look, there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, you're tattooing hair. Well, when you think of that, you think of something bold, dark, something that doesn't belong. I have a lot of husbands that come in and we do a consultation. They see the place, they see our heads, they see things that they want for themselves. We talk about it, what it is, what it isn't. They go home and they go, hey, honey, I'm sold on this. I want to do it. I'm getting a tattoo for my hair. And they're like, what?
Yeah,
because that sounds
freaks them out.
Sketchy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To my girl, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
I had to walk her through the steps as well, and now she absolutely loves it.
That's awesome.
She's like, no hat, no hat, no beanie, no,
Awesome.
And the only time I'm wearing a hat and beanie is if I've not shaved my,
sides,
exactly.
Yep.
Got the grays coming in, and I don't want the grays in there. But that's just like anyone,
Sure.
So, but you guys gave me this confidence back, which is insane. But again, it was the same thing. I had to walk her along and go, this is, come see it, come see what they're doing.
Sure.
And I have been an advocate, like a poster boy for you guys. Even when I'm in there, some of the people that have been coming in for consultations, I'm like standing there going, yo, Best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
I'm not even.
Yeah.
I know we am there full time. I
Yeah.
think this guy's like 3 or 4 people.
I mean, it's no
Just
joke.
do your show at the office.
Hey, what'd you think of the piece? Chase put that together last night.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
and
that was
and
awesome.
Chase and
That was
Austin
cool.
shot that. Chase, great job, man. Thank you.
You know, I tried my hardest. I'm no editor, but I did my best.
Yeah,
it
you
looked
did a
good.
great job,
It
man.
gives
Thank
good
you.
context for sure. Because
Yeah.
it's really hard for people to see this because, I mean, we still get calls all the time. People look at our website, they look at our Instagram, they look at all of our stuff, and they call us and they're like, oh, I want a transplant. I want that. They have no idea what we're actually doing because it looks so real in
Right.
a lot of cases, for sure. Now, you know, there's still, I don't want people to think that this is super easy too, you know what I mean? And because you're saying it's non-invasive, you know, it looks so great, it looks so natural, but it takes a lot of work to get to a place where you can do this. And I kind of use this as an example, and I have nothing against tattoo artists. I love tattoos. I love tattoo
You're covered in
artists.
them.
Yes,
Oh,
but
he's loaded.
I can't do a tattoo, and I will not expect a tattoo artist to be able to do this. It's just a completely different process. We are 1 to 2 layers deep. They're 4 to 5 layers deep. They have different equipment, different inks, different needles. Everything we have is specific to this. And I tell people this. I say, look, if you're a brand new artist and you're learning tattoos, you're going to do some easier things like predetermined pieces, line work, where you're just doing some infinity symbols, some things. And then there's a scale. It gets a little bit harder. Now you're doing custom pieces with a little bit more shading, a little bit more contrast. Now someone's handed you a picture of their grandma and they're saying, I want this on my arm. Like, okay, now we got a whole scale of work here.
Different levels.
Yep.
With this, you know, and this is kind of just like a
But it's an art form to hit the face.
Oh,
sorry.
oh,
Go
for
ahead.
sure. Yeah, no.
please.
Completely.
Yeah.
100%. And what happens is in our school, people come in and I have to say, look, I don't want to shoot your dreams down right now. But right out of training, your first head is just as hard as your last head. It's a portrait. There's no easier or harder work for this. It's something for someone's face that has to look natural. There's no like, oh, I got this when I was 16, whatever. No, this has to look natural.
Right.
So, I mean, anyone can explain being bald, but it's very hard to explain something that looks very unnatural
It
on your
has
skin.
to look natural,
Right.
Because the second it doesn't see, the human eye could detect something doesn't look natural right away, right? So remember in high school when you had the zit on your forehead?
Oh.
And somebody's talking to you, they're looking up at it. Yeah, you know they're looking at it, but they're not saying anything. If they ever did that with what our work looked like,
Right.
we'd be embarrassed, and you would know, and it would be you'd have a conscience about it, and you'd be annoyed by it, right? And so, you know, when we train this, you know, there's a lot that goes into it, you know, spacing, you know, depth perception. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, so
Right.
it looks natural. We have you lift your eyebrows up so your hairline doesn't talk if it's too low. I mean, there's a lot of things looking age appropriate, matching. You know, you could overdo this. We see a lot of artists out there trying to do it, trying to make a quick buck, and they're botching a lot of people, and it's bad. So, you know, we have a few offices, you know, around the United States, but for the people that are listening, you know, you could give us a call, and then if we don't have an office in that city that you're in, we do know people that are in the industry that we could refer you to that are amazing artists, right? So we don't want to just send you to anybody who's been doing this for 2 years, and they're like, oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we
you.
do that
Right.
often. I mean,
Well,
I know
You guys, everybody wants to come to Vegas. Why wouldn't you come to Vegas and get this done?
Kill 2 birds.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But it's you guys, it truly changed my life. I had an album release party, right? Elvis Monroe, we had the album release, Curtain Call Records. I signed a deal back in April. The album finally came out on Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. Plug. And it's the first time that I walked out like this and did a show like this. I had shaved my head, and, you know, I did a show one day like that about 2 years ago. But I'm owning this.
Yeah.
Like, I am about to shoot the cover of My Vegas magazine, and I'm rocking this, man. This is my new identity. I am owning this, and you guys have given me that.
Right on. Man,
it's truly.
I mean, the thing about this, we love it too, is like for every client that we do, and we've done a lot of celebrities, we're probably that company that everyone looks you guys did all those celebrities, right? Yeah,
right.
That's us. But I mean, for everybody that we do, we're like really good friends with them. For some reason, it does change their lives,
Yes.
and then they reach out to whatever they're doing. They want to hook us up with whatever industry that they're in. If they're in the weed industry, like, bro, I got you all this weed, whatever, right? If they're in a restaurant, come and eat for free, right? Like,
right.
You know, you're just a part of everybody's lives, and it's awesome.
You were going to come to my show. I wanted you to walk the red carpet with me.
I know.
The other night,
and I love that because, you know, we see so many people that I could be out and I could forget that I even did that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
For real. But they have never experienced something that, one, positive, two, in that kind of way that made them feel differently about themselves. They will never forget us. I swear, I've walked around, I've been out with my parents, I've been out with my fiance, and I had people just run up and just grab my arm, and I'm like, what the, oh my gosh, like, man. And then as soon as I see their head or as soon as I see that smile, I remember. But
I mean, everyone hits. I mean, even Rampage will call them out of the blue. Like, bro, because we
Rampage Jackson.
Rampage Jackson. We are like, man, we are cool, man. I mean, I'll hit him up. He comes to town. He wants to try to hang out or something. Which, by the way, talk about nervousness when we were doing his head. I'm over here recapping his knockouts. Just like, dang, don't mess this up. But he is hilarious. He is so funny. I mean, he had us laughing, and he calmed the situation down real fast.
Really cool guy. Only needed 2 passes for him.
Really?
And such a humble guy because he was like, I'll talk about it. I don't care. And what he says, and you come to our Instagram, you can check it out. He literally says, like, my own kids couldn't tell. My wife couldn't tell. They were like, that's not a tattoo. No way. Can I touch it? Can I feel it? And he's trying to tell them, no, this is not real.
Yeah.
This is just, you know.
Yeah, you got to find
I've had people walk up to me now and say,
Can I touch
you're
it?
growing your head, you're growing your hair back. And they rub my head. And Gio, who has Fitness Junkies in here, he thinks I'm growing my hair back. He's like, oh, you're growing it back. You know, I'm like, getting tired of being one of us. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. No, what's great is anyone who does that and they have hair. I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
And anyone who doesn't have hair, on the down low, I'm like, hey, let me show you what I did. I just want to show you. Because I want them to know on the down low, meaning I'm not forcing it on them. They may love what they have, and they're comfortable with that. But I'm just giving them an option. Here's an option.
Sure.
And show them the video of me. This is me with hair, just like 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just a shot of. I'm known for my hair and sideburns, and so to have it be gone, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Now you guys made me feel good. I walk in and I got the jacket on and everything, and they're like, oh, GQ, I'm like, wow, thanks guys, it made me feel good.
Hey, you look good. There's like B-Hop in the house.
Thanks, man.
And this is something that Marvin told me in our consult, and I'll never forget this. I don't know why it just stuck in my mind because it was so spot on. Because I was in that consult without my head done, of course, feeling some type of way about myself. That's why I'm even there. And he said, he wasn't just trying to sell me hype. He wasn't like, look at our reviews. Look at the heads I've done. I don't have to tell you anything else. He said, look, I've been there. I bought new shoes. I got a new suit. I got a new watch. And I'm going out and I'm trying to look good. And I never looked complete. I never felt complete because my hair wasn't right. So now I feel like I just went all out for nothing. I feel like I'm done all the way up, and my load bar got all the way to the when it's gonna finish and stopped.
Right.
And I always remember that because that is
well said.
Without even knowing it, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
I shaved my beard up. Thank God I can grow a beard too.
But we can't do that. We can't do beards.
We can pepper in some beards too. But I mean, that's all I had though. So I was always like, damn man, I gotta keep this great. I gotta keep this. I line it all up, and I'm sitting there and my hairline shot. So I'm like, it looks like I did half of what I needed to do to go out, and that's how I always felt. So I mean,
that started young for you.
Yeah.
So that's rough. And so you guys meet each other. So how did the business start?
Well, I mean, he got it done and loved it. And Tyler, he was fine. He made good money. He was at the Win.
Yeah, well, actually, at the time, I was working for the city.
That's right.
I was a counselor for the city. So I was a drug and alcohol abuse counselor.
Whoa.
And then I worked with teens with traumatic experiences, So I got my license as a counselor. I was a completely different route in this. Kind of not, because
trying to help people.
I had a bad run with my life a little bit with my best friend. He accidentally took his life with drugs, and then I was like, you know what? I'm tired of working and being around and not being able to help people, because I think that I could bless people's day to make it a little bit better. So what can I do? I started looking at, and I changed my major at the time, and then I wanted to become a counselor, and then I started to work with people who had the same problems that he was going through, because I did have a certain couple things. I had the look that young people would respond to, because I'm not saying older people can't connect with younger people, but there's a lot of walls, especially with somebody who's already got a bunch of walls up.
Right.
So I said, look, I can come in. I did all the work I had to do, and I was really good at it, because I could say, hey man, I know your shit. I know you don't even believe what you're saying. Cut it. Let's do this. Let's work together.
Right.
It ended up being something that I really couldn't take home with me mentally very well.
That's gotta be hard.
I wasn't able to disassociate my work from my normal day. Like I wouldn't be able to go home as happy, because I couldn't just shut off. Some people could be EMTs, go home after they've seen a dead body and they're hooking up with their wife. It's not me. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Special person.
Yeah. I'm like an empath in a way. Like if you're feeling a certain way, I'm feeling it. I took my dog to get her shots today, and my girl's like, what's wrong with you? We got a new puppy. And I'm like, I'm nervous for her, and feeling all the anxiety and whatever, and she doesn't even know what she's going to, but I do. So that's got to be,
that's a great trade.
Yeah.
So then I met him, and I got this done. I had no intention of getting into this at all.
Yeah.
But I know how I felt after, and I was like, you know what? I'm already subconsciously looking to get out of this. I'm like, so I'm
gonna come work for you, bro.
I pulled Marvin aside. I said, look, I'm not concerned with pay right now. What do I got to do? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what do I got to do to learn this with you? And I liked his vibe. I didn't want to just learn it from him. I wanted to work with him.
Wow.
Because I knew he was going somewhere with this. He had the plan. He had everything. And I feel like he just needed someone else to push with him, because we're a great yin and yang.
Yeah.
I'm very methodical. I'm very hesitant. And I'm very like, this is the plan. Let's stick to it. And that's going to get me so far in life. But then you throw a wild card in that says, you know what? Your plan's cool and all, but dude, we live once.
Yeah.
We got to do something.
Dude, you created something when you were the pioneers basically of this. You were doing something, so that makes total sense.
Yeah.
You need the dreamer.
Sure.
The hey, I believe that if I jump off this cliff, I'll be good, kind of vibe. And so that's really great.
Yeah.
And I see that in you guys, because I spend enough time with you. And when I have conversations with Marvin, the things that you dabble in and the stuff that you go after, and the way you're like, I'm ready. Let's expand this. Let's
grow.
Let's get it to more people. I wanted to help spread that word.
Man.
But continue, please. I cut your story off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So in a nutshell, I mean, he joined the team, and then, we decided, let's just do it on our own. Let's create something new. It's still relatively new. No one's really was even doing it in Vegas. So, we did it. We created SMP Ink, for a lot of reasons. We called it that way. We didn't want to be known as Marvin Furrow's Ink or Tyler Bennett's Ink, or because this is one person. We had bigger plans down the road. Let's make this worldwide at some point. So it's not just one person, because one person can't do it all. There's no way I could have did this without Tyler. I mean, we grew this thing from the ground up, and now we have great locations and other people doing it, other artists that we help, people work for us, just to help people, and seeing their families thrive off a business we create is just, to me, that's that was awesome. And
it's an awesome feeling. I own Red Chapter Clothing, and I remember the day that one of the guys who was riding a bike to work, every day at the warehouse, rolls in a car, and he said, "Hey, Bryan," I remember he walks up to me and he's gone, "I got this because I've been working for you. Got a car," and I'm like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
And that was me creating this company that is now feeding them and bringing all walks of life in there. I had ex-gangbangers from different, whatever sets or whatever you want to call them, all working in the same place together, one little family. And I called them the Land of Misfit Toys. I said, that's my shop, and we're the Red Chapter family.
Nice.
And so yeah, it was
super
so
cool.
I get that feeling about creating something, and I see that. I was watching the last time I was in, a young lady sitting at the inn tattooing that head.
Zaria.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the greatest thing about it. Other than just for our own, confidence. I mean, to me, my turning point was this. I'll never forget this. There's a guy, severe alopecia. Reoccurring alopecia. So. That's basically a disease that's uncurable, okay? And it comes and goes, the Jada Pinkett thing and all that other stuff. So I did this guy's head a long, long time ago, and completely he was done. He was a young guy, good looking guy. And I was like, I was just messing with him. So where are you gonna go? The club, go hang out, meet some chicks, whatever. Looking good, man. He's just like, honestly, Marv, the best feeling is I could go to a grocery store, turn around, nobody's staring at me no more. That's the best feeling. And then that kind of hit me. I was like, that's deep,
You just reminded me of a story. I think I was in session 2, I think. Young man walks in. I don't know his name. And I'm like, "Hey, you look good." And he was really quiet. And he's like, "Thank you." And when he left, you told me, "Hey, that kid's 18 years old. Please tell this story, but you don't have to use his name."
Yeah, no,
Please don't use his name, but
I'll give him some privacy. His mom came to us, and I really wasn't expecting this, and it hit me hard.
It hit me hard when you told me.
Yeah.
I was like,
so I turned to you and I said, that kid's only 18, and his mom came to me and said that they have no money. They've been watching us, and his son had some mental disorders that he had to take some extreme medications for, and those medications unfortunately made him lose his hair
at 18 years old, or 17, or
even less than that.
Yeah, less than that. He was in high school
at 15.
Yeah.
So he went through high school
I
with
can't imagine
the complete top of his hair missing and just the sides and the back, something that you would traditionally see on someone who's elderly.
Right.
And you cannot tell me he didn't just get
ridiculed.
Yeah.
just messed up in school. I mean, because kids are assholes.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like they're going to...
He's in high school.
Yeah, exactly. And what is he supposed to say? Like, you know what I mean? Like, even defending himself doesn't even help.
No,
the
because I
situation.
had to take medication for this thing that it's wrong with me.
Exactly.
But here's what you guys did. Go ahead.
So we said, look.
No, because I remember her asking, "Can I make payments?"
Yeah. So she wanted to make payments, and they were, of course, very small and things that had nothing to do with the. And I said, "Look, stop. We're not in this for the money, and we have plenty of people and things that we can do. Let's concentrate on dates. Let's not concentrate on money. Let's concentrate on a date because your son's getting his head done.
Bro,
I don't even care.
I saw him the day he was done. And when you told me that story, dude, I'm wearing a jacket and long sleeves, and it gave me chills because I'm being tattooed, you're doing the work on my head, and I'm in tears. You're telling me a story, and I said, I want to talk about that because that's the kind of people you guys are. Yes, it's a business. Sure. You're here to make money. You provide a service, but I am happy to pay for it because you know what I'm saying? It's
right.
You're providing a service that is giving me back confidence. You're giving me back that I can feel it to the top kind of vibe. Again,
Yep.
I can walk out and feel confident. But you paid it forward, and for the rest of this time, he can walk around and feel like he's not going to be made fun of or whatever it is, or like that guy walk into the grocery store and not have that. Chase, this is something that you have. You look the way you own it, dude. I saw a shot of you for your opera stuff, no shirt on, looking all like dapper, and you have thinning hair.
Oh yeah,
and looking like a rock star for his opera show. But when he saw this, he's like, dude, that looks good. So
I'm wearing. You say I own it as I'm wearing a hat right now. But
yeah.
But I mean, it never really gave me too much like I don't know, trouble like in when I think about it. But like I've been looking like on the down low for solutions because like I've got like just the wickedest widow's peak you've ever seen in your entire life.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Again, we're sitting here talking about this, and you own it, and that is you. That is your look. So didn't even give you. You never even thought about it. Like you said, it was on the down low. Then you see me going, "Hey, follow me. We're going to SMP Ink.
Literally.
Hey, we're gonna meet the Tyler and Marvin, and this is what they're gonna do for me." And you're like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Wait till you see it." And it's hard to explain to those out there. Like I said, I have Tyler and Marvin from SMP Ink here. If you're just tuning in or whatever, and this right here is what you did and what you guys have done for me, and you guys have it. It's done. We've heard your stories, and it's changed my confidence. It literally makes me feel like I own it. I can go to the gym. I go do whatever I want. I don't have to worry about throwing on a hat or a beanie or whatever.
Yep.
And my brother owns it all the way. It's never been a problem. But he's had it for so long, like 15 years. He's been shaving his head. And I was only 2 years in. And getting back to when I started this show, I talked about my buddy Abe, who's going to be my new guitar player coming in. He's moving here. And his new adventure, we've never even shook hands, and he's joining my band, moving here from Jersey. He's been learning the songs. We hit the road. We go out on tour for the Dadcast Hero's Journey. It's called the Adventures in Fatherhood Tour with Love and Theft, Elvis Monroe, Dirty Lover, and Fogline. So go get your tickets, dadcast.co or elvismonroe.com. But anyway, he's doing this with me. And he said, no, I've only been shaving my head for about 2 years. I'm not even ready to even consider doing anything like that. He's like, but man, talk about, I was crushed. He goes, like you said early on, the idea of him having to shave his head, he said, I was crushed. Like it was giving up. And he goes, I've learned how to rock a cool hat and, on stage and whatever, those kinds of things. I'm like, cool. Whatever. I didn't even question it. Never even thought about it. I've seen photos and videos of him. Never even thought if he had hair or not. Didn't matter. That doesn't define us. But here, when you're sitting there looking at yourself or whatever it is that for me, that's what it was. And, we have all these insecurities, all these things that we live with, trying to be in shape, trying to be whatever it is that we want to do. We all have them. And that's what I'm out to share and hope to inspire and awesome. Get inspired by my guests to know that it's okay. I just stood in front of hundreds of people on Friday night, and I have all these insecurities, but I'm going to stand there basically naked and share my soul with you guys and hope that you have a good time with me. And that's what I'm out to do. And now I just did it again. I just shared this. I just shared this other extension of myself, and you guys did that with me as well today, awesome. Which is amazing. And I could talk to you guys forever on here, but is there anything that we're leaving out before we go that you want to share?
Well, I'll say and then I'll let Tyler take it from here. We could help Anybody. I mean, it doesn't have to be just men. A lot of women look at it.
That's right.
We help a lot of women. I'd say a good 40% of our clients are women, especially in Scottsdale. For some reason, that's what I'm getting a ton of. Basically, we call it like a headband. A lot of people, a lot of women, when they give birth or whatever, and they get a little bit older, it like stresses them out, or for whatever underlying condition they may have. It's really thin there. They're scared to pull their hair back or whatever. Well, we bring all that back. We recreate that hairline, frame them out again too. You don't have to cut your hair. Guys, if you're out there and if you're looking at us three bald guys sitting here like, oh, I got to shave my head. You don't have to shave your head. We could actually, because the women don't shave their hair, trust me.
Yeah.
So we could go in there, create that density. And again, if your face matches the top of your head and we can see through your hair, that's what makes you look thin. But once we do your whole scalp a different shade, it frames your face out. Nobody's looking at that anymore.
That's a good point. I have a couple buddies that actually have the hair transplant, right? And they saw this, and I'm like, look, you could go see my boys, and you don't have to go get the more hair follicles put in, which was painful. They said, which was they grossed me out by showing me the hair follicles taken out. I said, you can go in and you can have that darkened up underneath, which would make it look thicker. You know what I'm saying? Give it that vibe. Because I'm like, you got hair right now. You've been through all of this. Let them help you.
Absolutely.
And give that a shot. And so I have a couple of buddies that...
And we could cover those scars. We cover FUT and FUE scars for the hair transplant guys that are out there. So we cover all those. We add density. We do the whole nine. We're bringing all the way back. That's
amazing. If my mom, they used to live here with me about 7-8 months out of the year for about 8 years until my brother was sick. And my mom got dropped on her head as a baby. And there's this spot about that big. And it's just a bump, right? And it doesn't grow hair. And it's a little lump on her head, and she is so sorry, Mom. We're sitting here talking about it, but she tries to cover it up or whatever. Yeah. And I told her, you come out. I'm gonna have the boys.
We'll take care of Mom.
Yeah. So is there anything that to the listeners out there, the Rock Rage Radio listeners, to my listeners at a Hero's Journey podcast, that you guys want to leave them with? Because you guys you literally chased a dream. You changed careers. You went after something that didn't exist and created it. And then when it was just tattoo gear, it wasn't even, you were doing the grassroots marketing, I call it, where you got this guy, your partner in crime, because you set up at a gym and had a, pull up banner. And said, this is what I'm doing. And it, I would have been like him. Like I would have been like walking by, like, I'm not going to talk to this guy, but click, 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 video, what's this all about?
I didn't really realize how, I knew it was going to be big, but I didn't realize it was going to be that big. And then one day I got a call from one of my good girlfriends at the time who was dating the DJ and Apple from Black Eyed Peas. And he goes, Apple wants to get his head done. Come up to L.A. and get it done. I was like, all right. So we cruised over to L.A., hooked up Apple at his house. He's on an 808 hitting it. Will.i.am's in there. They're all having fun, just doing their thing. And then I was like, this is real then. I mean, like, as soon as we hit that, I was like, okay, we're gonna move this.
I saw somebody's belt inside your office there. I won't say that.
Check, but yeah. So here's just a good. We went from trying to get this out there by going to barbershops and hairdressers, leaving them because you can't just walk in with some literature. They're going to be like, no soliciting. With a box of donuts and said, hey, this is what we do. To present day, invited to Mayweather's birthday in Miami, South Beach.
Wow.
So, and this is all through the people we've met. Bodyguards, celebrities. I mean, things. We're literally over here having people tell us to get the F out of their store to, bro, come to my party.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about.
And not because we're ego driven, not because, we're doing things other than just helping people feel better about themselves. And the things that it's opened up for us in our personal lives, the things that it's opened up just all over in our social lives has just, it's just paid us back tenfold.
That's amazing.
And and we just, I don't want anyone out there who's listening to this to be like, look, I don't want to be forced to do this. I'm comfortable where I'm at. This is not about getting you to a place that we're not telling you need something. This is for the people who are feeling like they need something.
So, you provide an answer to something that never had an answer.
Yeah.
It was just like, this is
that
I don't have a
works, though.
choice.
But this
does
works.
work.
There's no maybe. See, here's the thing. You walk in our office and you leave, it's done. There's no maybe. We're going to fill every little square millimeter on top of your head.
Yeah.
You know, like versus the hair transplant, you know, you only get a couple, you know, and then you got to wait 6 months for it to grow back and taking pills for the rest of your life, side effects. It's a quarter of the cost. Come on in. We'll take care of you. We'll change your life. We'll work with you. Just give us a call. And whoever's in whatever state or country you're listening in, please, if this is bothering you, check it out. It's
and the
probably the best
website,
solution.
the website for this is?
It's just smp-ink.com, smp-ink.com.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Oh, there it is. We got the logo up there in the corner. That's perfect. Perfect.
Man, I even remember when we were tossing around logos. We had some god awful ones too, and we just came up with something that we want it to be easy, but
it's it's identifiable. Is that the word? Yeah. So you guys, I could talk forever. You have a birthday dinner to get to. It's your birthday today, which is amazing. And thanks for doing this on your birthday. Thank you for flying in from Arizona to do it.
No problem.
Thank you to Chase to making this happen, because we were going to do it in the other studio. It was going to look different than all the other ones because we were going to make this happen. I wanted you guys to be here. Chase threw that edit together. Thank you, bud.
Of course.
awesome.
Look, I'll be stopping in, guys. I will. I'll give you guys a call soon.
All right. That train's never late.
Yeah, there we go. So SMP Ink, SMP dash, right? It's the hyphen dash ink.com. Located in Phoenix. Phoenix area. Scottsdale, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Right here in Las Vegas.
San Francisco. Shout out to Janelle.
Yep.
She's one of the co-founders as well. Who's over there. Yeah.
I see you guys on covers of magazines. I see you guys getting presented awards at these big conventions and things like that. You're on stage, and you guys have changed this industry, and you're the leaders of it, which is amazing. And again, getting back to, you have a dream, go after it. You have a dream. That's that call to action. The things that are supposed to happen in your life, they tend to keep presenting themselves to you, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm supposed to be doing something different than I am right now. And it just kind of finds its way. And then it's that call to adventure, stepping through. And then he was your mentor in this. And then he became your equal. And you guys made this a space that you're
bigger
used
than
to.
I am now. He's just taking over.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Allowed to. But now you've expanded. You're teaching other people how to do it, so they can go off and do it in New York City or wherever. And because you can't do all the people that are going to want this, but you can teach them to do it right.
Tyler, can you tell them where we're going to be at next for the next convention that we're doing?
Yeah. So just one more thing, one more plug, actually. Shoot, what are they?
PMU.
Okay, so PMU, we're doing a giant PMU show, and we're going to be one of the only micropigmentation presenters, but PMU World Live. This is going to be a huge event for anybody. It's going to be in Miami, and it's going to be at the Guitar Hotel, which is, if you haven't heard of it,
it's the new one.
Look it up.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah.
But it's going to have everything. And I know we touched on it a little bit before, but there's so many things in the cosmetic industry, in the PMU industry, and we are honored to be their only micropigmentation exclusive.
Wow. Good for you guys.
So,
thank you.
Yeah,
that's April 3rd, right?
Yeah.
April 3rd.
So we're definitely happy for that. So if you're anyone in the industry that does any kind of permanent cosmetics and you're looking to learn something new, you're having the greats from all the different categories come out.
Wow.
And we're just so happy to be a part of that list.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. So again, Tyler, Marvin, thank you guys so much. Thanks for
you.
being my sponsor here.
No,
One of
no
my
problem.
sponsors and the first ones to jump on when I literally had 0 followers. Thank you for
Amen.
sharing this story. Thank you for helping me.
Amen.
Of course.
Seriously,
Thank
thank you.
All right,
so
brother.
much. And again, Chase, dude, thank you, buddy. You killed it today.
That's what I do, brother.
Yeah. So to the other sponsors out there, JPS Computers, thank you so much. If you need social media help and all that good stuff, reach out to JPS Computers. SMP Ink, right here in Las Vegas and all the other locations. And then to my newest sponsor, Red Rock Harley Davidson, which, by the way, I still have my license. So if you want a bike, you can reach out to me. I'll make the time somehow, get down there and get you on a ride that fits you. And my name is Bryan Hopkins. This is a Hero's Journey podcast, and I was honored to have you guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Dream, and I believe it's coming around to me.